Hey guys, and welcome back to another Hey Crypto. Today we'll be looking at why Bitcoin has crashed in the past couple of days. And there isn't just one reason, there are actually several reasons that all came together. And in today's video, we'll be having a look. Okay guys, so as I tweeted earlier today, we'll be looking at several factors on what actually happened. So one of the main reasons is the Federal Reserve's rate increase. It wasn't even a 100% thing that was going to happen. They were just speaking about it happening, and that already tumbled the tech stocks. And Bitcoin is seen as a tech piece of technology. So that's why when tech stocks go down, mainly Bitcoin goes down with them. And tech stocks in the stock market is one of the most volatile stocks as well. Okay. Next is Russia banning crypto. This happened about a week ago, and now they're backtracking and saying they're going to regulate it. Ukraine instability, meaning Ukraine's and Russia's imminent invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine also, the instability beforehand, this was leading up to Russia's possible invasion. Increased leverage in the market. This is from people using really high leverage, 100 to 1 at times, and this is causing mass liquidations. Liquidations means when people's money basically disappears from trading leverage. Leverage is when you are giving in, let's say 1,000, but betting 100 times that. And if you win, you win big, but if you lose, you also lose big. So it's probably one of the riskiest things you can do. And China's Evergrande funding issues as well. So to begin, we will look at CNBC's article. Here's why stocks are on such shaky ground to start January. So it started off with the stock markets itself. So most people don't realize that a lot of people in the actual stock market industry are into crypto as well, especially the ones that invest in tech stocks. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell as much as 1,000 points before coming back close to about 100 points higher. The S&P 500 was off by nearly 4% as its session low, but managed to eke out a small gain. The Nasdaq Composite rose 0.6% after failing as much as 4.9%. So we can see a slump here from December the 28th to January the 25th. What's behind the market's weak start to the year? Though some areas of the market considered more expensive or speculative begin to struggle in November, the broader market took a big step back during the first week of January following increasing hints from the Federal Reserve that the central bank will take aggressive action to slow down the jump in consumer prices. They're basically going to try and slow down inflation as much as they can. But if you do it too harshly, then that causes a recession. Increasingly clear that it's serious about fighting that inflation. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Tech leads the way down. Tech stocks with high valuations got hit first and are continuing to get hit. So here's another chart of this correction. The cryptocurrency market has been hit hard as well. The prices of Bitcoin fell briefly below $34,000 on Monday morning, bringing its year-to-date losses to roughly 30% since its record high in November. The largest cryptocurrency has lost about 50%. And when Bitcoin goes down, the rest of the market goes down with it, because Bitcoin is the dominant player in the game. It's got the highest amount of money is used to trade Bitcoin out of all the other cryptocurrencies. It's got the biggest market share. Okay, Next, we're going to go to this article. Analysis, investors worry about hawkish Fed hurting growth, even theories over next recession. Hawkish means they're not confident, like being bearish. And the opposite of that is being dovish, being bullish, being more confident. Okay. Investors have been unnerved in recent days about the potential for more hawkish Fed than the previously expected. Some are concerned an aggressive interest rate hike cycle combined with the reversal of the US central bank's bond buying program could cause too sharp a slowdown. Too sharp a slowdown could cause some type of recession. This has spooked investors. Remember, investing, a lot of people invest with their emotions, and a lot of the time as well is bots that are trading for people. It's not actual people sitting behind a computer most of the time that are doing it. And bots, what they do, they read articles. They read hundreds of articles more faster than any human can do. They read tweets, etc. That's why sometimes you might see an Elon Musk tweet and Bitcoin price might fell or go up by 10-15%. It's because the bots determine that that's something that's bearish and they will act by themselves. The fear seems distant as the economy has been regaining speed. According to Reuters survey of economists, growth in 2021 could come in at 5.6%, which would be the fastest since 1984. Okay. So this is from the IMF. We're expecting growth continues, slowing in coming years, but positive. Larry Fink, chief executive of BlackRock, the world's largest money manager, warned last week that the rise of a possible curve inversion in case of a fast pace of monetary policy adjustment by the Fed to curb inflation. So BlackRock actually advises the government, the US government as well. So BlackRock is huge, and guess what? They've invested in Bitcoin as well. Okay. Now let's move on to the next story. This is from Forbes. Crypto crash. Market now brace for game-changing White House executive order as prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum collapse. Bitcoin cryptocurrencies have crashed over the past week with about 1.4 trillion wiped from the combined crypto market as sparking warnings of new crypto winter. This is quite a sensationalized headline because crypto normally drops 40%, 30% and goes up as well over months. So it's not something new. The Bitcoin price dropped 33% per Bitcoin this week, down more than 50%. Yes, it has. And so has the Ethereum dropped down as well. It wasn't almost 5,000, it was around 4,000. It's because Joe Biden is gonna do a executive order on cryptocurrency and regulations that again fear the market. So it'll be signed as soon as next month and will put the White House at the center of Washington effort to deal with cryptocurrencies. This is more about taxes and the banks not being happy that people are earning more money in the stock market, and if you want to invest, sometimes you have to be an accredited investor, which means you have to have a certain amount of money before you can invest. Bitcoin cryptocurrencies allows you to invest easily. You can open up a wallet in 15 minutes. You could be as rich or poor as you can be. Anyone in the world can invest without any issue, and this is the problem because the rich want to keep the wealth within their circle. US President Biden is readying an executive order that will outline a comprehensive government strategy around cryptocurrencies and will ask federal agencies to determine their risks and opportunities. Okay. Yeah, well, again, weak performance has been attributed to a general sell-off in risk assets. People fear the news and people sell. That's just something that will happen always in the cryptocurrency market. timing it is really impossible. It's really difficult to know. That's why this channel, we're not going to tell you or buy now or sell now, because no one really knows. No one could have really seen this. No one in the crypto world last week said to you, make sure you sell before next week's crash, because it just can't happen. As much as technical analysis as well, it's there. News like this could just come out of nowhere and could crash the market. So yeah, I would say that try not to listen to all these people telling you when to sell or when to buy, and you just don't know, because a story like this will just crash the market, like you've seen. Last year, SEC Chair Gary Gensler called on Congress to give the agency more authority to better police cryptocurrency trading. Gary Gensler was working for MIT, I think about 5 years ago, and did the introduction to Bitcoin at MIT. So he really knows Bitcoin well. So it's kind of surprising he wants to really police the cryptocurrency, because he really understands what it is. Crypto is rife with fraud, scams, and abuse in certain applications. So is money, so is the internet, so is every other really industry. Gensler said in August, we need additional congressional authority to prevent transactions, products, and platforms from falling between regulatory cracks. This basically means they want to control all the transactions, see who's sending what, and yeah, know everything about it. But crypto and Bitcoin is a distributed ledger. You can see all the transactions anyway. I guess they want people to register on the actual wallets and track them that way, which will be hard anyway. Another chart of Bitcoin's price going down. Okay. Meanwhile, executives from burgeoning crypto industry have rallied against the lack of regulatory clarity and warned the US risk of falling behind other countries when it comes to crypto and blockchain adoption as a result. In October, major US Bitcoin crypto exchange Coinbase was among crypto companies that called the US to create a regulatory to oversee digital asset markets. So all these companies want clear regulations, and the government's not giving that because simply they don't understand what crypto is. Some say it could be property, it could be a stock, it could be anything. So they haven't regulated it, which means you can't. It's hard to tax it, etc., etc. It's bouncing along, as you saw today. The market is bouncing back anyway. Now let's move on to the next story. This is the story with Russia. So Biden threatens Putin with personal sanctions if Russia invades Ukraine. This again has spooked the markets. More sanctions, more wars. This will cause all the stocks to go down, apart from arms, weapons, etc. And like Boeing, which creates aircrafts and stuff like that. So yeah, all of this will bring down the stock market as well, because war is always not good for anything anyway. That's another reason. We'll move on quickly to Bitcoin skids to 6 month low as fears of Ukraine conflict shakes markets. This again, because of all the, so what happened is that China banned Bitcoin for the 20th time. They've been banning it about nearly every single year. They've been banning Bitcoin. And then finally they stopped all the miners. So all the miners moved to Ukraine. And then now Ukraine has problems. So at the start, when they all moved to Ukraine, everything was going fine. They finally went back online, and then this issue happened. So all the miners in Ukraine sold off some of their Bitcoin because they didn't know how long the conflict would last. So that's another reason that cryptocurrency has gone down. So this same rhetoric is repeated. Yeah, it went down by 50%. It did go down by 50%, but it's already bounced back. Okay. The US Department said on Sunday it was ordering diplomats' family members to leave Ukraine. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So smaller cryptocurrencies tend to move in tandem with Bitcoin, also slumped. Second largest digital coin Ether fell 13%, its lowest since July. Binance Coin, the fourth biggest token, as issued by Eponymous Crypto Exchange, was down 12%. Like I said earlier, they didn't move in tandem. They don't move in tandem, okay? Bitcoin is the market. Bitcoin dominance is the highest. I think it's about 67% now. It's like the sun. So imagine the solar system and Bitcoin is the sun. And Ethereum could be Jupiter, let's say. So if something happens to the sun, then everything gets affected. That's the reason everything else goes down. You could have the best news for Ethereum, but if Bitcoin crashes, then it will crash with it. That's just what happens. Bitcoin will be face headwinds going back up until the macroeconomic conditions change. President of Horizon affirmed that service security exchanges, when rates are hiked, we could see more sell-offs. Okay. Yes, it is. So Bitcoin is risky mainly because it's a new asset class. It's only been around for 13 years. Any other asset class that's been new for that long will probably have the same fate. But also what makes it volatile is the first time in history everyone can go and actually contribute and join it without really knowing much. It's just so easy to trade in Bitcoin now compared to stocks and everything else. So it's always going to be that way. This shows Bitcoin with gold. Yeah, gold's gone up, but gold's percentage is so low. It's a few percent up and a few percent down. It's over the years, I think Bitcoin will take up more of gold's market share, and then that's when it will stabilize more. So you won't see such 50% drawdowns. You might see about 20%, 15%, etc. More on this story is, so Russia should regulate crypto market, not ban it, says Finmin official. So previously they wanted to ban it, crypto, and that's what also led to the markets going down. And usually crypto goes down every January anyway. It's just the way it's been, always been. I don't know exactly what the reason is, but it always goes on around that time. Okay, so Russia should regulate crypto market, not ban it. Okay, which last week proposed banning the use and mining of cryptocurrency. So it turned around in a week. In just a week, they changed their mind. What happened during this week? Nobody knows. But who knows? They could have bought the dip themselves. We just don't know that. Okay, so Russia has argued for years against cryptocurrencies, saying they could be used in money laundering or to finance terrorism. Money laundering is done on the US dollar mainly, and so is this. Okay, how do arms reach all these Middle Eastern countries or all these war regions? How do they reach them? Do they use Bitcoin to move money into those places? Do they use Bitcoin to buy the arms, etc., and deliver them over there? Can these third world countries really trade with Bitcoin and finance all of this? We have to really, it's really, really hard. I just don't understand it. This is a really old argument that's just been there from the start. It's just trying to destabilize Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The central bank last week said financial stability, citizens' well-being, and its monetary policy sovereignty were all under threat. If the central bank really cared about citizens' well-being, they would educate them in schools, make them understand what taxes are, teach stock market in schools, because the stock market continues to rise. Every stock market rises all the time. most of the time. And the reason for that is that not because it's performing amazingly, it's because the dollar, the ruble, the pound, the euro is being stabilized. It's going down because of inflation. So it's just going down, and the stocks look like they're going up, but they're not actually going up that much. It's because mostly currencies are just going lower and lower. If it was based on Bitcoin or gold, the stock market will be going down. Okay, the world has become very virtualized, and I don't think we can allow ourselves just take a high-tech industry and ban it. Yes, okay, because they can make a lot of money from crypto assets. This is what they fail to understand. They can make a lot of taxes as well from it. So yeah, so this was another article around it. Let's move on. So this one says, CNBC, Bitcoin traders using up to 100 to 1 leverage are driving the wild swings in cryptocurrencies. This was published on May 25th, 2021. So this is an older one, but it's still relevant to this day. Take risk, Bitcoin market is being forced to sell when prices go down. The biggest culprits of last week's 30%. This was the drop in May, June time. 12 billion in leverage positions. This still happens. So even till this day, there's leverage, constant leverage, and everything being wiped out. That was another reason. This is May when Bitcoin fell to 40k. Yeah. When BitMEX allows 100 to 1 leverage for cryptocurrency trades. Binance does it as well. And Coinbase only allows it for professional traders. Yeah, professional. Okay. So let's move on. And the last story is Chinese bank offshore debt shows impact of Evergrande crisis. This is from January 20 this year. Beijing. Offshore debt at Chinese banks took the biggest drop in 5.5 years last fall, in what capital markets watchers say point to a credit crunch triggered by crash-strapped property developer China's Evergrande Group brush with default. Okay. Outstanding debt, commercial banks and other depository corporations stood at 1.18 trillion at the end of September, down 6% from the end of June. 1.8 trillion. The drop in debt suggests banks were able to pay off short-term obligations but unable to borrow more. So this is concerning, unable to borrow more. So they're going to have to keep paying off the debt. During the run-up to September, people were thinking that Evergrande problem could trigger a financial crisis. Yes, that was also one of the reasons the crypto markets fell. Even if a brief one, said Nato Saito, chief researcher at the Daiwa Institute of Research, Chinese commercial banks and other players likely struggled to raise funds. Other factors also work on banks borrowing. Signs of China's slowing growth became clear last summer as high commodity prices weighed up on the world's second largest economy. So I highlighted this part because I feel like this is really important. If Evergrande collapses, it will have a trigger effect. This trigger effect will cause the whole market to pretty much go down. The same way with the Lehman Brothers Bank, and then we could have another huge recession. So it's within China's interest and the world's interest really for this Evergrande not to go down. It really is. Okay guys, next we're going to be jumping on to CoinMarketCap to look at today's crypto prices. And if you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. So now we're on CoinMarketCap. Earlier I said that Bitcoin dominance was around 60%. I was actually wrong. It's actually down to 41% and Ethereum is up to 18.1%. Usually when Bitcoin's dominance is down is when the altcoins, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Coin, Dogecoin, etc., price goes up because they're more free to go up. So Bitcoin price is at 37,700. It's been trading between 37 and 36 to 38 today. So that's a lot better than 2 days ago when it was down to about 33, 34. It's already bouncing back. Volume is another something important you should also look at. That's 28 billion volume. And Tether's one is 64 billion. So most people have their money in Tether now because they sold off some Bitcoin and other crypto. And let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum's gone up by 4.5%. BNB's at 1.1%, moved up by a percentage. Let's see, Cardano's moved up by 6.7%. Solana next, 3%. So all the market is going back up slowly. And it's all going up when Bitcoin goes up. So Bitcoin goes up a bit, and Ethereum sometimes as well, because Ethereum's dominance, the rest of the market starts to follow as well. XRP is up by 4.3%. Terra Luna is down by 3%, but it's been performing quite well actually. Dogecoin's up by 3.3%. Polkadot is up by almost a percentage. We got Polygon, Matic, Shiba Inu is up by 5%. Polygon's actually is doing quite well. It's probably the best layer 2 solution for Ethereum. Wrap Bitcoin is basically Bitcoin that's being put into a smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain. So Bitcoin is locked up on the Ethereum blockchain, which allows you to use Ethereum services like DeFi and gain a bigger percentage. So that's number 18. So a lot of people are actually using that, and it's the same price as Bitcoin. Cosmos, DAI, Litecoin, Near Protocol, and Chainlink. Yeah, so I think that's all gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a new format, a new way of me doing the news. I'm gonna try and do these more often. I'm also gonna go back to doing my explainers as well. If you like this format, please let me know by hitting like and subscribe, and hitting that bell notification as well. Please comment and let me know what you think of this new format, if it's helpful. If you have any questions, put them down on this YouTube, and also on my Twitter page. I'm really active on Twitter as well. It's at HeyCrypto10. So I'll link it below as well. Thanks again for watching everyone, and I hope you have a great day.